Here's what you missed on Phathead and Cande in the morning. Weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on My Country 96.1.
My Country 96.1 Phathead Cande Roth. She needed a couple extra days. She will be back Monday. Last hour, we gave you the update where we currently stand in the presidential election as Joe Biden has taken the lead in Georgia, still leads, and this is all slim margin, still leads in Nevada, still leads in Arizona, close in Pennsylvania, but President Trump still leads in Pennsylvania. Both men with a path to the White House. Joe Biden's a lot clearer at the moment as they continue to count absentee ballots. Let me also say this, for those of you who think that these absentee ballots are coming out of nowhere and are believing in that, that is not the case. Some states, and it's all written in the state laws, in their election, how they, have their elections and their election protocols. If you go back to election night, and I was watching, this is why I love watching The Big Board, The Magic Wall with John King on CNN. If you go back to election night, they were like, oh my God, Joe Biden is ahead in Ohio. He's ahead in Texas. He's ahead in Florida. Like, oh my God, this is going to be a landslide. But what happened in those states in particular, even North Carolina at the time, those states were counting the absentee ballots, the mail-in stuff first, and then putting in the election day results after that. And as we know, this is fact, more people who did absentee mail-in ballots were voting for Joe Biden by a wide margin. More Republican voters go to the polls, don't do the at-home mail-ins, although some do. But that's just the way it's split. More Democrats are voting from home this year and more Republicans at the polls. So those states in particular were voting the absentee, were calculating the absentee ballots first. That's why Joe Biden was ahead so far in Ohio and Texas and Florida. And people were like, what's going on? And then Donald Trump came back and won those states. So now the reverse happens in some other states, like what's going on in Georgia and Pennsylvania and some of the other states at the moment, where they counted the election day results first, and now they're counting the absentee ballots. And a lot of the absentee ballots coming in Georgia are from districts that vote a big margin Democrat over Republican, and that is what's happening at the moment. The other thing that's interesting, and by the way, this is just stuff going on in the election. I'm not giving you any point of view. I'm not trying to influence you either way. The election's over. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But what's interesting is, as the president is trying to file lawsuits in different states, one of the big states that the Joe Biden made a comeback in at the moment, it's not over, is Georgia, with all these late ballots. Well, in Georgia, the governor is Republican. The Secretary of State, who's in charge of counting the votes, is Republican. So that, I don't think there's fraud in any state. But if there was going to be one state where there certainly wouldn't be fraud in favor of the other side, would be Georgia. It's a Republican-run state as far as the heads, the people that run the state. So anyway, that's where we stand with the math right now. Both candidates have a path to the White House. Joe Biden's a little clearer at the moment, and hopefully either way, regardless, let's get this wrapped up by the weekend, and maybe we can move on and, get on to Thanksgiving and Christmas and have some family time, possibly. With that in mind, just to put your mind on some other things, yesterday, the country saw its largest amount of new cases of COVID since the pandemic started. So we are no closer to solving that problem yet. So there's a lot of things happening in the world right now. Let me give you a way to de-stress. There is a candle company that has put out candles for sale that have the smells of 2020. One of them smells like banana bread, which, everyone's baking. One of them smells like hand sanitizer, if that's what you want. There are some hand sanitizers that smell awful. One of them smells like wood for the do-it-yourself home improvement person. And one of them smells like, this is the quote, budget aftershave and earthy essence, which is supposed to make you think of Tiger King. Anyway, they're the candle company. I gotta find the candle company. It's out of England. It's a novelty candle company out of England, and they call it the 2020 Scents. Here's one more for you that may make you relax before we move on. If you're all about getting the Starbucks holiday cups every year, don't quote me on this. I'm just reading an article. This is from what I can tell from this article. If you go to Starbucks today and order one of their holiday drinks, you get a free reusable cup. I guess this is the only day where you can actually buy the drink and get the cup for free. So if your Starbucks is extra crowded today, that is why. From what I'm reading, if you order a holiday drink, you get the reusable cup